Hello all, another video. Didn't think I'd be making this, but I came across something on Facebook, and I had come across it before. And before I get into that, I go to the post office, and by the post office there's an LA Fitness, and this girl just come out of here, out of the gym, gets in her car, okay, and her hair is perfect. Her makeup is perfect. Do you really think that she worked out? Because, I mean, it's like she just stepped out of her house and makeup, hair, everything perfect. I don't know. Not trying to judge, but, and I see it all the time because I come to the post office if I just have something to drop in the mailbox to mail, and girls that go in there with their hair, I mean, full makeup, eyeliner, eyeshadow, and, you know, matching outfit with the sneakers that match the outfit. And I'm like, are you in there to really work out, or are you picking somebody, like hoping to pick someone up? Because they already have perfect body. I mean, maybe they got it from working out. Hey, kudos to them. But, and if these people, I just told someone, oh, he's going in the mailbox. Okay. I don't want to choke anymore on you. But I don't know. But I saw something, and it said how in a supermarket, a bottle of water is 50 cents. In somewhere else, I forget. In the mall, maybe, store, it's $2. Somewhere else, it's, in a restaurant, it's $3. In an airport, it's $5. Or on a plane, $5. Which is very true. So they said, you know, that bottle of water is very valuable on a plane or in an airport. So if people around you treat you like less than you are worth, then leave them and go to a place where you're treated what you are worth. And that is so true. Because, like, people that are unhappy, say, in a marriage. And my friend who just ended her marriage, a little over 25 years, but it wasn't a marriage for the last 6 to 10 years. But she said she can't imagine herself living the next 25 years feeling the way she feels in this marriage. Just like when you're at a job and you feel you're not, you know, treated what you're worth or paid what you're worth, then move on and into a job that you're paid what you're worth. If you're appreciated in your job, like I feel very much appreciated in my job that I'm at right now. I feel very appreciated. I didn't even ask. I wasn't even there a year, quite a year. It was March, end of March, beginning April. And I would have been there a year in May. And my boss came to me and she said her and her husband were talking, and they didn't want me to wait till December, because that's normally when they give raises at the end of the year. So they wanted to give me a 6.5% raise. I was floored. I was floored. I thought maybe I'd get a little something, being there a year and then at the end of the year. But they didn't want me to wait. So I'm not sure I will get a raise in December, or maybe not as much of a raise. I don't know. I know they appreciate me. They so appreciate me. They say it all the time. They thank me all the time. Thank you for everything you did today. And I'm like, I did my job. So it is so nice to hear that and to be appreciated. I'm not saying I wasn't appreciated in my job before this. But it's like every day they say it. And that's the same thing. Even if your family is not treating you the way, and I'm not saying fight with your family or, walk away from your family, but maybe stand up to your family and say, hey, listen, I just don't like the way you're treating me, or I don't like, so if you don't like, and I need to take my own advice, because there's times when my family will say something and I'm just, I don't know what to say at the time. It's kind of like the movie You've Got Mail, when Meg Ryan's character doesn't know what to say, and she's jealous of the fact that the guy she's talking to, which she does not know is, Joe Fox, that he says exactly what he's feeling. And yes, she said, you're right. He tells her, don't envy me, because, sometimes you feel bad after you say it. So, yes, it's just like a breakup. If I know a friend who was dating someone, and great guy, but she tried and tried and tried, because he was such a great guy. She felt like he was like her best friend, but romantically it just wasn't there. And she felt horrible. And she knew she had to end it. And when she did, she felt bad, but it had to be said. So when you do have to say something to your family, I've always been a person where this is when I went to a therapist after my divorce, or going through my divorce, I should say. And I was angry, and my therapist said, write a letter to the person. Do not mail it. Then put it away. The next day or a couple of days later, if you feel it has to be addressed sooner than later, freezing, then read it the next day. If you feel it could wait a couple of days, wait a couple of days and read it and reread it and maybe rewrite it. And I've done that, and they're really mean things, because in the heat of the moment, you really don't want to say something you'll regret. It's the old saying, you can't put toothpaste back in a tube of toothpaste. You can't put it back in the tube. Toothpaste, you can't put it back in the tube. Once it's out, it's out. So you don't want to say something that is, that can't be taken back. You want to say it in a way that is not vicious or mean, but you want to say it. So you write it down, and maybe write down what you want to say, and then rewrite it and rewrite it. And I've done that. And I have to, I think, do that with my family. When I started my blog, I had a blog, and it was when I was going through my divorce and everything I was going through. It was actually after my divorce. Yeah, it was after my divorce. Frank and I wanted to start a blog about getting divorced, about raising kids, about dealing, co-parenting and things like that. So I kind of followed through on something we wanted. We had started to write down some ideas. And I actually was interviewed by the Asbury Park Press. And they interviewed me, and I was on the front page of the Asbury Park Press. And my sister was like, well, I don't want you talking about me, my kids, my family. I'm like, it's not about you. It's not about your kids. It's about me, and what I'm going through, what I went through. And it was like, everybody was so worried that I was going to talk about the family and I'm like, and my uncle even came up to me and he said, that's really great. He goes, I said, listen, this is why I said about the blog that you probably do not want to read it. It's very personal. It's what I went through. And some of the things probably will shock you. My kids do not want them to read it at all. And they have no desire to read it. My son's girlfriend at the time read it. And she's like, good for you. It's so open and honest. And like, you say what you went through. So my family is always worried about what I'm going to say about them. I'm not a stand-up comic. I'm not up there bashing my family. And I don't think they get that it's about me and my journey. Even this, like, I've told nobody about this, vlogging, I guess it's called. I've told nobody about these videos. Not even my kids. Because, not even my closest of friends. No one knows about them. Because it's not about them. And even some friends about my blog. My one friend is like, well, I feel like you sound bitter and you're talking about these guys that you saw, and I don't think a guy would want your relationship all over a blog if you broke up. And I don't talk, first of all, nobody here knows my real name, and they don't know my real name, and my real name isn't on there. My picture isn't on there. My picture is on this, but nothing to point it back to me. And it was all about me. And I don't name names. I don't say John Smith. I give them nicknames. Like, Mama Took My Phone Boy, the guy that was addicted to the chapstick. And if anybody was to approach me, if I was called again to be interviewed by the Asbury Park Press, I would never, if they say, oh, can we have first names? No, never. I gave them nicknames for a reason, because I would never name them. I would never give specifics. I would not. I just wouldn't. And these guys are donating to Goodwill, and did they not know you have to go around back with donations? I guess not. And I guess they will be told this. So this is all about me, how I feel, my thoughts, and I have not just lost my chain of thought because I'm sorry. I like I said, I share my thoughts. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm not saying if someone agrees or disagrees with me, they are right or wrong. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. Everybody's entitled to do what makes them happy. I don't think my family gets that. The only people, I have said this, and in my divorce, going through my divorce, I did some things I'm not proud of. I did some things that made mistakes, but I never went through it before. And the only people I had to apologize to was my kids. That's it. My children. No one else. And of course, myself. I had to answer to myself and my children. That's it. Nobody else. My family didn't like what I was doing. Oh well. Too bad. Well, they're putting the stuff back and going around the back. So I have no one else to answer to. Nobody. My children, and like I said, and nobody else should have to either. If you feel you're doing what makes you happy, then do it. Abso-freaking-lutely do it. Like I say, unless you're hurting somebody else, killing somebody else, destroying someone else's life, then do it. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, do what makes you happy. I know people that, a friend that, first got out of their marriage, just met this guy at a hotel, hooked up with him, had sex with him, and left. And anytime he reached out, if she was free or she reached out and he was free, they would meet up. And that's what worked for her. I know men too that had an arrangement with women. What the actual heck is this woman doing? She put the kid in the car, took the kid out of the car. I don't know what's going on. She's probably wondering what the hell I'm doing. But, a guy that, with this girl, and it was just strictly, they'd go to dinner, and then they knew sex. Dinner and sex. Dinner and sex. So, that's fine. If you're not ready for a relationship, and my mother told me, she said, listen, when you get divorced, you're not going to be ready for a relationship. So just go out and have fun with men. And I was like, is my mother seriously telling me to just go out and just have sex with random men? Oh my God. Oh, no way. Wow. Then this woman that we worked with, when she got divorced the first time, and she was married a very long time to her second husband. She was very young, the first husband, and she found herself being a single mom. And she would say, oh my God, I met this guy, we had dinner, and then we have sex in my car, we'd have sex in his car, different guys, and I was a little wild. And I'm looking like, Oh my God. I would have never, ever guessed that. Never in a million years. So don't judge a book by its cover. I mean, she's, of course, not like that now, but she said she just was hurting, and I did basically just meet up with this guy, and then he started to make me feel yucky. And so I was like, fine. Like, that's when I decided I'm done with this guy. The sex was amazing. And it wasn't like it was just sex. I mean, you know, we were like dating, but it always ended up with sex. And I don't know. I just, at the time, it's what I needed. He thought I was amazing. He thought I was great. But then when it got to a point where I felt used, I was done with it. And I mean, he kept reaching out. I'm like, sorry. Nope. Sorry. Nope. Not interested. And he's like, oh, come on. It's amazing. Yeah, it is. But I'm looking for more. I'm really looking for more. It started out as dinner and sex, and then it evolved into just sex. And no, I just felt bad about myself again, and I didn't want to feel that bad. So know your worth. Like that bottle of water that in the supermarket, it's worth 50 cents. You know why? Because there's so much of it. At a restaurant, it's worth more because, or say, like, I paid, which is ridiculous, Home Depot, I was dying for a Coke Zero. I don't know why. I'm like so craving like soda, and I don't want to drink full sugar soda, so I do Coke Zero or Pepsi Zero, and I paid $2.48. Oh my God, how disgusting is that? But I was very much wanted that. It was very much like, what? Like, it was worth a lot to me right then and there, because, so, and like on a plane or in the airport, especially because you can't bring a water bottle. So water is very valuable. So be that bottle of water in the airport that everybody wants, and they will pay because you're worth it. You're worth it. At that moment, you're worth it. And you're always worth it. Always worth it. So don't be in a place where you feel you're only worth 50 cents. Be in a place where you feel you're worth the most. Don't let anybody make you feel like you are not, like you're that 50-cent bottle of water. Make that people feel that you are worth that $5 bottle of water. So where you know your worth, where people make you feel that you are worth that $5, not literally, but I mean, I had a guy write to me today, so disgusted. He's like, hey, me and my wife are looking for a partner. Are you interested? Where on my profile does it say that? There are profiles that say that. But my profile does not. So I know, I mean, I guess he's, taking a chance, whatever. Maybe I don't want to write it, and maybe I had to answer him and say yes, I guess. But no. And sometimes I feel like I'm just looking for sex. Would you be interested in just hooking up? No. And that makes me feel bad. And I won't be with somebody that's all they're looking for, and they feel that's all I'm worth. So again, if you're just getting out of a relationship, or you don't have the time, you have younger kids, and you just want to be with someone, and that works for you, just to hook up with them, go to dinner, and then have sex, or even just sex, go for it. Go for it. Man or woman. Man with a man, woman with a woman, man with a woman, woman with a man. Doesn't matter. If you want a threesome, be somebody else's partner, be my guest. I can't see myself. Am I curious about how that would be? Abso-freaking-lutely. But I can't see myself following through. It's kind of like, oh my God, I can't think of the name. Oh, red hair. Oh my God. I cannot think of the show. He was gay. She lived with him. She was straight. Red, beautiful red, wavy hair. And she's like, I'm a good girl from Schenectady or whatever. She thought she could do it, but she couldn't have a threesome. She's like, of course I can have a threesome. I'm that kind of person. And then when it came down, she's like, no, I can't do it. That would be me. Will and Grace. That was it. Will and Grace. And I knew it would come to me. When Grace went, and I think it was an old boyfriend or something with the new girlfriend. And she said, oh, of course I could do a threesome. What makes you think I couldn't? And she's trying to prove. And then she's like, no. So that would be me. Curious, but couldn't do it. Not curious with a woman, two women, like me and another woman and a guy. Two guys? But again, I don't think I could follow through. I really don't. Couldn't follow through with it. I'd be chickening out big time. So, do what makes you happy. Stand up for yourself. Know your worth, wherever it may be. And again, if you're in a relationship that makes you feel alone or lonely, I don't know. I couldn't do it. Some people, don't make yourself feel alone in a relationship. I mean, if the relationship works for you and it feels good and it works into your lifestyle, yes. Do what makes you happy. Makes you happy, yes. Does not, it makes you feel bad about yourself, get out of the situation. I mean, you are a great person and you can do it. I mean, there was times, like I said, negative in my checkbook, a penny, but I did it. I somehow I got through it. I worked a second job. I mean, I apologized to my kids. Every chance I got, I spent it with my kids. I really didn't have time for anything else. So just do what you have to do to get out of that situation. If you can. Sometimes you just can't, no matter what you try. So just do it. Know your worth. Surround yourself with people. And if it is family, then you have to speak up for yourself. I mean, I know it's not easy, trust me. But I'm going to go now because I have to go buy a karate uniform for my boss's son. So, and then go home, and I don't know what I'm going to eat. I'm really not hungry. So, all right, all. Goodbye for now.